Thank you for joining us today on another Pondering Potheads segment. I have Devon Cat here to talk about a POC's life in Washington pre and post I-502. I thought that is a perspective that is not widely shown or heard. Actually, most of Washington's cannabis industry, like the real deal, has no wave. You can see a ton of people taking dabs, you can see a ton of people talking about science, but the shit that actually goes down out here never really hit the real world. So Devon Cat, please let us know what's up and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me, all. I'm Devin, about 24 years old. I'm a manager at PRC Edmonds. Been in the recreational side of the industry for about 3.5 years now, from bud tender to inventory to purchasing and now just floor managing. So far, it's a good time. Like, the cannabis industry is for sure a step in the right direction. But yeah, people of color's views are never really ever talked about. So thank you for shedding some light on the subject here.
Okay. Well, let's just get in the heart and potatoes. Like, what was it like? The heart and potato, meat and potatoes. That is so graphic. Wow. But what was it like growing up in Washington?
Oh yeah, so I mean, like, growing up in Washington, cannabis, like, it has just, at least in my world, it's always been there. Like, growing up being like 4 to 7 years old and accidentally walking into my uncle's office and just seeing plants being grown, like cannabis. Even though the stigma has been like bad for the most part, at least in Washington, it's never been too frowned upon. Like, it was just something that you like hush to the homies or your mom and your uncle would like go out and take a walk and be smoking. It wasn't too out of this world as far as cannabis goes, and like, it's always been a part of my life. So like, me going into the industry was only pretty natural, I'd say.
Word. I don't think that's a perspective that is common like on the East Coast. Not everywhere on the East Coast. You know, there's like historical like geneticists and growers in the cannabis industry. Like, there are a few in different pockets, like Michigan and Florida for sure, like the Florida OG. Like, there's some cool entrepreneurs out there, but like Washington, Cali, Oregon, y'all been growing for like a long time, and there's families that like generationally have been growing cannabis. So for it to be so commonplace, that is something that I've heard like across all ethnicities, if you will, out here, that like I didn't think anything of it. Or matter of fact, kids growing up and seeing it was like, yeah, I waited till I was 21 to go to an actual dispensary and try it. My Florida existence was like, so at 14, I was hanging out with grown ass men and trying to get me some weed because I thought it was cool. Like, I met a boy. You know, like, so the stories are absolutely, not absolutely different, but vastly different than like, yeah, it was my uncle's and it was just around and it was great. But that's a smooth transition, because the truth is that like, you should kind of follow your passion, something that you really like or something you're good at. And a lot of time, 10 times out of 10, almost, your environment influences those passions.
No, without a doubt. Yeah.
So what was it like pre I-502, like pre-recreational cannabis out here? What was it like?
Yeah. So pre I-502, like, it just took a lot longer to get your weed. The grade was the same, if not better, in I-502, in my opinion. Granted, I started smoking like regularly circa 2011 and 2012, so medical market was metro booming. Most of my dealers at this time were just high school dudes that had their medical card, and so like, it was.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but that's something we got to talk about here. So before I-502 hit, everybody that's paying attention, like, you could get a medical card at 18, or actually probably.
No, I'm pretty sure you were able, because my dealers at the time were 15, 14. I'm pretty sure you were able to get your medical card if your doctor just approved it. Yeah. Don't know the logistics behind it, but yeah, I had dealers that were 14 and selling me weed while I was 13 and 14.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find the factuals for everybody and put them on screen in the post edit.
Yeah.
But that like shift from where everyone who had a medical reason could purchase cannabis to you having to be 21 literally stopped people, like some younger people, from being able to access medicine they actually needed because they had to wait. And they had to go back to the black market, the legacy market that existed to be able to get their goods. So like that's a very important change or fact that people need to hear about. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
So you're getting some of them kids.
Yeah, so I was getting hooked up from the high school peers, high school classmates. And yeah, like really the only issue was having to meet up with your dealer, him telling you he's about 5 minutes out, and then for you to be waiting in that parking lot for another 40 minutes. I mean, that was like pretty much the worst that I had it, like trying to buy weed. Because like everyone had like 6 different dealers, so you had up into your 6th string, right? First string didn't come through, second string didn't come through, then you're hitting up your 3rd and 4th string. So like everyone, and what's up?
Then you hit friends of friends, like you got somebody?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's not the same person that I got, so then this is another tier.
And then like, yeah, I guess like if you're getting reference to picking up from someone you haven't before, you just shot them a text and like, yo, this person referenced me. Can I get something? And that was, that's pretty much how black market was going up until, I got into the industry like 3.5 years ago. So, still pick up black market here and there. Prices are still a lot friendlier in the black market, I've noticed.
Hell yeah, without a doubt. And it will always be. The thing about it is that like they've tracked prices changing, even just in Cali alone from the time they wrecked to now, and it hasn't gone up like market. Like they had these crazy moments, but the market will always level itself back out because of the legacy market and how it's set up. Like I'm not paying more than 25 to 35 an eighth, cuz exactly. I'm not paying over 150 for like an ounce. So like it will always level itself out.
Yeah, so prices, at least from when I started smoking in high school and picking up from my dealers, it pretty much broke down to about 10 a gram. You get breaks as you bought more. The homie hookups, obviously, so like two 4 dubs, $30 ace, 55 quarters, $100 half zips, and then 150 full zips. Was pretty much the name of the game there.
Those numbers. Here's the thing: if you've ever been in the legacy market, those numbers don't ever leave your head. Like, you can spit them off with nothing. So keep going.
And it's real easy. And I think at least for the small pocket that I lived in Mukilteo, right when I first started smoking, really really rich neighborhood. I think like median income was like six figures, just about. I was not a part of that stat line, so I was part of the small ethnics there, I would say, or people of color, right? But as I started, like everyone pretty much started to sell weed just to get the free smoke, and then if they had that hustler mentality, that's when they started to push way more weight. But it was really just for the free smoke, because you only have to sell 15 dimes and you'd have 13 grams of smoke. So
exactly, like look at that. That's the thing that like police officers, like the judicial system never gets it. People aren't like trying to make other people sick. They aren't trying to finesse the system to get tax-free money, although you. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I want free weed because I consume it. And so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's why you can't crush the black market, because that existence of wanting to be able to have copious amounts of thing you enjoy for the low is always going to be there.
Yeah, that will always reign supreme.
So with that then, like when did you notice things starting to change? Because like you kind of feel it, right?
Yeah, I noticed this about a year into my cannabis industry. I started noticing that a lot of my friends were no longer picking up from the black market resources and started to just strictly buy from recreation. And it felt like it was because I was seeing recreation prices beating black market prices. Like you were seeing $40 zips of outdoor grow. Granted, it was some not good weed, but $40 zips is a very, very hard thing to beat. And so I noticed that in the 3.5 years that it's very much like a pendulum. you'll notice that it'll be a consumer's market where $40 zips are available, and then it'll swing back to where the like lowest halfway decent ounce is like $80 now. So we're just gonna have to wait for it to flip back, and we'll see it being a consumer's market.
Yeah, but that pendulum, I think, has always been there, because it's when that pendulum in my mind is when outdoor crops out, and then when outdoor crops, like those packs all get moved at that low rate, then you have to go back to copying indoor. And so then the price jumps right back up. Yeah. It's cyclical. It happens every year. Now, the biggest issue that will mess things up is if like huge growers get shut down, or like the delivery service gets nabbed. I would say, like, those are the two issues where you get that dry spell or that drought. But otherwise, you can predict your business model and plan off of that, you know what I mean? So yeah, but you're right, it does swing, because people get upset when they can only get an $80 ounce. Like, what? Like, you had 60s.
That's like unheard of to me.
Like, I would not even unheard of. I don't want to smoke it.
Yeah, and it goes to show that a lot of these people that can't, like, probably weren't in the black market side of things, and then they come and then they get spoiled with those super cheap ounces, and it's like it was never supposed to be like this.
Ever, my guy. I have questions. When you are sending me an $80 ounce, I have so many questions. What happened during this process? And then most of the time, the final question you have usually is, why it look like that?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, like, you play yourself every single time, but I get it if you're just breaking it down to put it in edibles. Does it matter?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
I think it should still matter, because usually, like, mold or so many other, like...
Yeah. My weed's got to smell like weed.
Not hay. Not hay. Yeah, not By the way, that is bad. So, then... Great question to segue into. What was it like getting into I-502? Please, what was this journey for you?
So, at this point in time, I was still selling black market weed for the free smoke. So, I was selling my 15 dimes, get my free 13 grams of smoke out. And I was working at T-Mobile at the time, so customer service I'd been working there for 2 years already, so customer service was just ingrained in me. And instead of having to do IT and talk about phones, literally just rotate into talking about weed. Super easy switch. I think, like, I had it a lot easier because I already had the knowledge and the fascination with weed from, like, when I started smoking, like, would just genuinely look up strains and all these effects back in 2013, 2014 on Leafly, just to kill time while I was high. Like, that was my jam.
You talking about my life, dog.
Yeah. Listen to some good music, and just do a little bit of research on my own. But yeah, no, like, yeah, getting into the weed industry was a blessing for sure. It's working with stoners is a wonderful thing, and the amount of Karens that you get and stuff is not that high in the cannabis industry. I mean, you still get them, but from all of the other places I've worked to, there is a lot more.
So, like, how many, like, shops did you apply at before you got a call back? Like what was the hiring process?
So it was like, I had hopped on Indeed and I applied to 2 pot shops, and one of them, I don't remember the name of the first one, and then Local Roots was the second one. And I got an interview really quick. I noticed that they just really wanted a ton of customer service experience, so that I had on my resume, and then I got a call, killed the interview, and yeah, now I'm here. Like, I think if anyone trying to get into the 502 industry, the number one thing that they're going to look at, like, on your resume is customer service oriented stuff. So do you have that? Because at the end of the day, it is a customer service, like, job, but you get to talk about weed. So yeah, make sure to get those years of customer service in.
Yeah, like, you can't just like weed, because liking weed is not enough. Because I can promise you, what you like about weed is not the same thing that other people like about weed. So you're just really good at one specific area. And I think the core of customer service is, like, being able to multitask and, like, be good at a lot of areas. Because you never know what the customer is going to need from you at that moment. So you got to be able to pull it out of the bag and give it to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like, we see people often trying to get a job, and they're like, what do I do? And I think when I started applying in 2016, when I moved out here, like a lot of people were like, yeah, just drop off your resume, just drop, at shops, and you just take them and you go a bunch of places. And now it's like, yeah, you gotta apply on Indeed. The places you want to work at can afford to host their jobs on Indeed, because those other ones that you're just dropping it off at, and you might get a call back, have a really high turnover rate and will accept any and everyone. And that's just like never a good sign for an employee.
No, yeah, that revolving door is something you never want at a pod shop. It means not a lot of good things.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long, so the final question, and it might be a little complicated, but do you think equity could be achieved here in Washington?
I mean, if there's a state that can, I believe one of them could be Washington. Washingtonians typically align on the correct side of social and economic policies. Like have a heart actually, freaking get a union or get unionized is a huge step in the right direction as far as getting that done. And I know we had talked about like another pod shop like actually in the steps of unionizing too. So I think that's going to be the next step as far as equality across the board, just so we can get our cannabis industry workers the stuff that they deserve. Like as glorified as the cannabis industry is, it's still like a barely above minimum wage kind of job. And so like people are like, if you want this to be a career, like you're gonna have to give up a lot of luxuries that you could essentially get with other higher paying jobs. So
not even that, just like back in the legacy market. Like if you look at the difference of how not even the difference, you're doing the same exact thing you're doing now, just on your own time schedule and everything like that. But it's outlawed, right? Technically. When you think about the amount you're making in one day compared to what you clock in and make to do the same shit and make almost the same amount that you would have yourself made in one day for a company, and you get a fraction upon a fraction on that, it's like, it's almost a kick in the mouth. You know what I mean? Because
like they set up the weed stand, and for you to sell the weed, and they take home most of the bread.
And I still love what I do, because like you have to have this on your resume if you're going to progress to the next stage. Like eventually you're gonna have to, like when things become regulated, you have to play within the system to then get the benefits. Unfortunately, that's how this place is set up. Or create your own system.
Right.
Yeah. Create your own system and get people to believe it's actually helpful. So that's why the Bakersmen Collective exists, my dog. Because like we've got to have people pushing for this level of change, and I really do appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to come down and spit some game to these youngins that may come across this on the interwebs.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any socials or anything you want them to catch you on.
No, I was nothing to throw out as far as socials. All pretty private on that part. I have nothing to blow up. So no, I appreciate giving me the time and the chance to talk about this, because I think it's important, so.
Yeah, everyone has a voice, and like just because you don't run $1 million company doesn't mean you couldn't one day, and doesn't mean you don't know more than the person running that $1 million company. Like I think platforms for the average person and their struggles need to be created, because we keep glorifying the outliers, the extremes, because they've done 1 in a million thing. Like not everyone can do that, but everyone can see the difference, see the benefit, calculate, the risks and whatnot associated, and make that decision to walk into this path. Like, I came from Florida and did it, and I'm here just because I decided to take all that of what came with this position. So, like, thank you for putting it in every single day.
Oh yeah.
That's like a double, triple entendre. And with that, we out.
Oh.
Another Pondering Potheads segment. Listen to us ramble. Catch us on YouTube, Discord, Instagram, the likes. And we out.